Today, we are doing an epic bottle face-off. We've got another episode of This or That. I'm Jeff. This is gwhisky. Stick around. Okay, This or That. This is where I speed run through a series of bottle-to-bottle face-offs that I farmed from patrons, comment sections, etc. This is all one person's opinion, obviously. What I'll do is I'll show you two bottles. I'll show you which of the two that I would pick, briefly explain why, and then move along. As always, I do have a mystery pour in my glass. Your hint for today is that this is from the best-selling line of Scotch whiskey in the entire world, and the one I've got is the one from the series that most enthusiasts seem to get behind. Also, it's a color.
That might be too easy.
And that's it. Let's not waste any more time. Before we get started, though, if you'll kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to kick things off with Maclean's Nose versus Campbeltown Loch. I prefer Campbeltown Loch. I've only had one batch of Maclean's Nose before. I do hear that it's batchy. Some are better, some are worse, but mine was okay. Campbeltown Loch I have had a bit more of, also known to be a batchy whiskey, but from what I've had, I preferred that one. So if I got to pick from the two, it's Campbeltown Loch. Classic Laddie versus Bunnahabhain 12. Now, I actually go back much further with Bunnahabhain 12, and I do think it's a nice, easy sipping sherried whiskey, but it's not as interesting as it once was. To be fair though, I don't know if it's me or the whiskey that's changed, and I still do like Bunnahabhain 12, but for this one, I gotta go with Classic Laddie. Now, the Classic Laddie is not going to be for everyone. It does have some character, it has some sharp edges, but I like that about it. I think it's well executed, so between the two, it's definitely the Laddie. Craigellachie 13 versus Craigellachie 13 Armagnac. So this one is really tough because honestly, it comes down to a mood thing. If I want something softer and rounder, I'll go for the Armagnac release. But if I want something more meaty and rugged, I'll go for the standard 13. So I think I'm going to cop out on this one and say it's a tie. I love both. I buy both. I recommend both. Absolute bangers. Next, we've got Craigellachie 13 again. This time we're putting it up against Oban 14. Now, if you guys know me, you know the channel, you know I absolutely love Oban. It is one of my favorite brands, but I don't love it that much. At least not the 14. I do think that the low ABV and the added color do hurt its case, but even if we're just going from a flavor perspective, Craigellachie 13 still wins. I think it is one of the best budget-friendly bottles of all time. Next is Lagg Cravy against Ardbeg Uigeadail, another really tough one because what batch of Uigeadail are we talking about? Uigeadail is famously a bit of a roller coaster. Different batches vary a lot in quality. So let's assume we've got one of the better batches of Uigeadail. If that's the case, then yes, Uigeadail will win. Next up, we've got two sherried 12-year-olds. We have Glengoyne 12 against Glendronach 12. And between the two, I'm going to go with Glendronach. I think it is a very nice whiskey despite the 43%, good intensity, and very nice complexity as well. And Glengoyne honestly has never been my brand. I do know that it's an enthusiast darling. A lot of people love it, but I've never really gotten behind them. And unfortunately, that is true of the 12 as well. We're going to keep that sherried 12-year-old theme for this next one. We've got Glenallachie 12 against Glendronach 12 again. Now, both of these are quality sherried whiskeys. They are very intensely sherried. I know Glendronach has lost some fans over the years, and I get it, but I still think the 12 is decent. However, Glendronach doesn't have the specs. It's a 43% whiskey. Meanwhile, Glenallachie does have craft specs, meaning it's 46%. It's also non-chill filtered, natural color. And flavor-wise, I think it is equally delicious, so that gives it the edge. I'm going for Glenallachie 12. Caol Ila 12 against Lagavulin 8. Both of these are going to be very honest, straightforward Islay whiskeys. They're very representative of the house character. Once again, if you look at specs, the Lagg comes out on top because that one's got 48% versus the 43% we get from Caol Ila. But even if we disregard the specs, I think I'm still going to go with Lagavulin 8. I love the Lagavulin house style. Caol Ila 12 is great too, but it needs to be amped up. Lagavulin 8 gives us the intensity, and I love the flavors. All right, let's keep the Islay thing going, and this next one is interesting. We have Kilchoman Loch Gorm against Lagavulin 16. Now, Lagavulin 16 is tough to make a case for because, personally speaking, I found some batches to be very good while others are kind of flat, and also it is a colored and chill filtered whiskey, 43% as well. However, I do like the Lagavulin 16 flavor more, and also the older I get, the more I'm okay with 43% whiskeys, and of the two, I think the Laga 16 is going to be more refined. It's more of a gentleman's whiskey. The Longmorn, on the other hand, is still a beautiful whiskey. I like it a lot. It's fully craft, so 46% non-chill filtered, natural color. It's now age stated. The 2025 batch is now a 10-year-old whiskey, which is nice. But I do like the fact that Lagavulin 16 is a little bit older. It's also cheaper in my market, and it doesn't lean quite as sweet as the Longmorn does. So yeah, I'm going to go with Laga, a good bottle of Lagavulin 16. It is inconsistent. Some bottles are flat. So let's say we've got a good one. That would be my pick. I know most of you out there will go with the Longmorn, which is fair. All right, we're going to keep the Islay theme going here. We've got another Kilchoman. This time we're looking at the Saneg cask strength, and we're putting it up against the Bunnahabhain 12 cask strength. So both very sherry-leaning cask strength Islay whiskeys. The Saneg is peated, the Bunnahabhain 12 isn't. Now, Bunnahabhain 12 is a little bit inconsistent because we've had 3 batches so far, and they did vary a little bit in quality. The best one that I've personally had was the 2022 release. I've not had the 2025 release, but we are getting one this year, I think, unless I'm wrong. Either way, yeah, flavor-wise, I'm going to go with Bunnahabhain 12. Saneg cask strength, for me, honestly, didn't really work. Maybe that's just me. Next up, we're going up in age. We've got Longmorn 18 from the Secret Speyside collection versus Tamdhu 18. And this is probably the toughest choice on this entire list. Those are 2 of my favorite OB 18-year-old whiskeys of all time. They're both amazing. For value, there's no real competition here. It would go to Longmorn because that is literally half the price of the Tamdhu 18 in my market. But for flavor, I can't choose. It's a tie. If you want something more opulent and rich, I do think the Tamdhu 18 is one of the finest, widely available, well-aged sherried whiskeys on the entire market. But oppositely, the Longmorn house style is one of, if not my favorite house styles in whiskey, and the 18 does it to perfection. So honestly, I just don't know what to do here. It is really hard. It is too hard. That's what she said. Next, we have Tamdhu 18 again, and we're putting it up against the Glendronach 21-year-old Parliament. Now, Parliament is a really good whiskey, whether it comes from Rachel Barry, whether it comes from Billy Walker, whether it's one of the ones with the extra age behind it. Always good. Some are going to be better than others, of course, but I've always enjoyed the Parliament. However, I do think that Tamdhu has the better house style and honestly, better cask management, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to go with the Tamdhu 18 again here. I think it is an incredible whiskey and definitely one you should try if you haven't. All right, last on this list, we have 2 staple 12-year-olds, 2 beginner 12-year-olds, if I'm being honest. We have the Glenlivet 12 against the Glenfiddich 12. And this one's tough. I've not had either in a really, really long time. Broadly speaking, as a brand, I would say that I prefer the Glenlivet to Glenfiddich, and it's not that close. But for these 2 expressions in particular, yeah, tough. The Glenfiddich gives us that appley note, which I do actually like, but I prefer the house style out of Glenlivet. So based on memory, take this with a grain of salt. I am going to land on Glenlivet here, but don't take my word for it. In fact, I should probably pick up both of those bottles and do a side-by-side. That might be fun. Because really, the winner here is just because I prefer the brand overall. So we're not really discussing the specific 12-year-old. So yeah, this needs to be explored. All right, that's going to bring us to the end of today's This or That episode. This series is always a hit. Don't worry, there's more episodes to come. And with that in mind, if you have suggestions down below for a face-off that you want to see in a future video, let me know. Also, feel free to let me know where I went horribly wrong in today's video. Remember, it is all opinion. Some viewers don't really seem to grasp that. But yes, it's one man's opinion. I'm just sharing it. If you disagree, you're wrong. And finally, for the mystery pour, this is from the biggest Scotch brand in the world. It is a blended whiskey. It is a color. It is the enthusiast go-to from that line. I do think I made it a little bit too easy today, but what I'm drinking is Johnnie Walker Green Label. So I'm actually slowly working my way towards a video where I talk about all the Johnnie Walkers, one big ranking video with everything from the lineup. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Johnnie Walker Green, this one is the only all malt release from the line. Again, it's the enthusiast go-to, and it's good, but we'll talk about that more later. For now though, we are going to finish off this video with the usual sign out stuff. So I'm going to throw my patrons up here and I'm going to ask for your support. This whole video, this whole channel rather, is a one-man show from scripting, shooting, editing. So any little bit of support from you guys does help. So I'll list Patreon and PayPal down below. Also, if you have other suggestions for themes or reviews that you want to see on the channel down the line, put those below as well. I guess we'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.